Trying to go live.
We
Now
are
we're live. It's beautiful.
Woohoo!
Training camp is here. We got fights. We got a preseason opener tomorrow night at Paycor Stadium. We're going to talk about that and more coming up on Big Play Cincy.
It's showtime, baby. Yeah, the boys are ready to go. Cincinnati, you know. Them boys about to flow. Grab a garage beer, let's go. It's you and Bang go. Yeah, Big Play Cincy show. Yeah, Big Play Cincy show.
What it is, Cincy, what's up to the millions listening across the, I would say, universe at this point. I think we've probably hit other planets, Martians and stuff. You know, we're a big deal, you know. So how we doing tonight, Drew?
Actually, the reviews on Twitter today said that we're actually not a big deal.
Yeah, that's true.
Discourse about how bad of a human I am, I think.
Yeah, you're a bad human. I'm a clout chaser. Shout out to our haters.
I woke up and I felt like 50 Cent in that video where he's like, what do you say fuck me for?
Fuck me for.
Shows presented by Garage Beer. Don't have a garage beer, drinking water, trying to be, you know, a little bit better on the body. So
I have my mic stand that's falling apart here. We're getting there though, you know. Oh,
hey, that thing's been through it. All right. Bashing into that thing.
Yes.
All kinds of shit. So
yeah.
we were away last week because, you know, life happens. We got shit to do. We're back. My wife says Discord emojis are still better. Yeah, we don't have the emoji set up because, well, we suck.
We're doing our
Nick
best.
Nick Fox says, when you have haters, you made it, boys. Yeah, man. I love it. I love to find the people that talk the worst about me and then find the tweets where they were trying to enter like giveaways when I was giving away free shit.
Yeah, dude, I like that too. It's like you weren't so mad at me when you wanted tickets, son. I get it. I agree.
I had a guy one time tell me how terrible I was, but he didn't remember that I had DMs from him like begging me to share his articles that he wrote, and I was like, "Oh, man. So I wasn't so bad when you wanted to send my shit." Andrew, wait, you guys get weeks off? Yeah, we have a.
Oh, I love that guy. What's up, Fox?
We're maybe not as professional, as dedicated, as good as you and James.
So. Well, let's say this, Fox. Thanks for tuning into the little people here. They just hit 45,000 on YouTube or something like that.
Yeah, that's
unbelievable. Crazy. Unbelievable. Freaking congratulations. That's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, we're trying to get like 1,000. So if you can maybe just like send a couple over, they can stay on your side too. You know,
Twitter's our strength, though. We fully admit that. That's where we first put our idiocy out into the world. So that's where you're going to get it most. All right, man. Enough about you and I. I know we're apparently incredibly famous or something, but training camp stuff going on. We got some, you know, positions that you and I want to look out for, some fisticuffs. What do you want to go to first here, man?
Let's talk about the fight, because that was a couple days ago. That was on Wednesday. Haven't waited on much. So you've probably seen this video 4,000 times. So we're going to show it, well, one more time. Shout out to Trags for this video, at Trags on Twitter.
Much love.
This is a good angle of what happened between old Teddy K and my good buddy Logan Wilson. Not my good buddy. I've just talked to him a couple times, but
friend of the program.
Technically could be called friend of the program. You know, that's a tough fight, really, for me personally, to see. Both very near and dear to my heart. I got the Logan Wilson jersey on with the Cincy hat. Here, obviously, we'll talk more about it after we watch it.
Yeah, sure. Roll that. Yeah.
Ted walking off with like a
and I think his arms went Rocky. I think he went Rocky.
Yeah, dude, he was all the way up.
I saw Teddy, man, going for it. I have a take on training camp fights or brawls, BRAWLS, not the brazier type, if you will. I love them. I think they're great. I think they're great for morale. A lot of people look at them and they go, oh, man, they're disorganized. They're not getting along. No, man. They're hungry. They want to compete. And that fire comes out sometimes in the form of a right hook. You can't do it in a game, right? You get a penalty. But that's what practice is for, man. Get your frustration out and compete. Because right when they went in the locker room,
I mean, I will say now that we're on that point, I did really like kind of what Ted said about it after the fight in the locker room.
Flo was a play on the sideline, probably overly finished. He didn't like that. I didn't care. So it was an intense practice. I don't think anyone was doing anything out of proportion. No one got hurt, which is always the most important thing when you're fighting in training camps. That would really be a stupid way to set us back this year. So I think guys handled themselves with intense practice. And I think offense won.
He said offense won.
He didn't like it, and I didn't care. I think that's awesome because the guy's a dog. But to the point you were making, he also said in that interview, he was like, nobody brought it inside. So they weren't screaming at each other in the pretty new locker room. They were just and they've been hitting each other for 3 weeks, man. We're 3 weeks into camp. They've been seeing each other every day, practicing against each other every day. So it's just sometimes shit happens. What I was the most glad to see was nobody was punching helmets. And if you watch at the end of that video, I think BJ Hill might have been ready to swing one, and Mims comes in and like grabs his arm. I think it was BJ Hill. I know it was Mims that stopped somebody who looked like they were maybe about to swing a helmet.
About to swing.
So
Nick in the comments
good leadership from
Nick in the comments there. Throwing punches with helmets on is still stupid. Nothing good can happen. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
All you're going to do is shatter hands there. You know what I mean? Let's not break hands before the season. But if we're going to push, shove, and yell and cuss at each other, let them boys play football. That's all I got to say. Let them play. I'm all.
Harold makes a good point. Got to practice pile driving linebackers. That is a play we want to see Ted Karras making this season, just with a guy in a different helmet. Yep. It was a chippy practice all day, though. There was a big hit between Yoshavash and why am I drawing back? Jermaine Pratt that sparked a little bit. Ted was walking back like, that's so fucking ridiculous. Like he was fired up all day, dude. And there are a few things I love more than fired up Ted Karras. Like the Tennessee video, awesome. His mic'd up against the Dolphins his first year, awesome. I love fired up Ted Karras. Andrew says, if you want clips of what everyone said about the fight, just let me know and I'll send your way. Audio was cleaned up too. See, these are the pros. I find video on Twitter. If it says download video, I just download it. I credit the person who posted it and I move on. This is smart guy stuff that maybe is a little bit above my head. But the Fox
is a professional, Andrew, or something like that, huh?
Dude, he's good. Have you seen the way that their videos are edited? He's good.
Yeah. He's very good. He is very good. There's no other way to put it. Overall, we're going into the preseason. This is like the first hot practice we've had like that, hot in terms of mental temperature. You know what I mean? So it's a good thing. To me, it just says we're hitting games against other teams ready to compete. So that's where I'm at with that entire situation there.
You know what this is? This is the most, I would say, I don't know if I should say competitive, but the most contested training camp of maybe the Zach Taylor era, definitely the Joe Burrow era. And I think that's good. I think that maybe in years past, there hasn't been as much fire in training camp. There hasn't been that holy shit, these guys are ready to run through somebody's face feeling out of camp. And that could be because your star quarterback tweaks his calf day one last year, or he's coming back from an appendectomy the year before, and he's coming back from a blown out knee the year before. Maybe it's just because they feel like everybody's healthy, ready to go. T. Higgins is there. Obviously, Chase still hasn't practiced. We can call that what it is. It's contract related. But I like it. And I think it's the most fire I've seen out of this team in the Zach Taylor era and definitely the Joe Burrow era. And I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, I agree. Pardon me. I agree. I mean, it's tough. You know, the wind was sucked out of those guys last year without Joe out there. So like now, yeah, they're fired up, man. They're ready to friggin' go. So,
and there's so much on the line on the defensive side of the ball right now too. I think because Pratt and Wilson are obviously under contract. They're going to be here.
Oh yeah.
So they're not like fighting for roster spots by any means, but the defense stunk last year. It wasn't good. And I think that they've all got chips on their shoulders. You've got Von Bell back in the building, helping with the communication back there. Geno Stone, a vet who's played a lot of football. You got DJ Turner and Dax Hill fighting for that corner spot. Shout out, did buy a DJ Turner jersey yesterday. I said if one person liked my tweet, I would do it. So I had to do it.
What color did you get?
I went with white. Ever since they drafted DJ Turner last year, I envisioned myself getting a white DJ Turner jersey. So I decided to go ahead and do it.
That's nice. That's nice. Yeah, I couldn't remember. You got a couple white jerseys, so that'll be clean.
Yeah, I did get a Google Drive folder from Andrew with some good clips on Andrew. You are a gentleman and a scholar. I don't know if I'm smart enough or skilled enough to get those onto this show.
No,
while
neither
doing
of us
it.
are. Absolutely not.
But I appreciate the hell out of the fact that you even sent it to me because teamwork makes the dream work.
Yep.
Twitter mentions got a little divisive today, so we like the unity from Andrew Fox Miller. So we appreciate you for that. I might have to head to Paycor tomorrow.
Oh, brother, you gonna head down? I won't be able to make it, unfortunately. But you think you're going down?
I might have to head down. I don't know. Zach Taylor is a secretive man. Preseason or not, he's in midseason form. They asked how much Burrow was going to play, and he said that he wasn't going to tell us. Andrew, download and upload into StreamYard. I know, but is it going to have the proper video credits on there? Because I've got a James Rapine video in the hopper waiting to go, and I made sure to give proper credit because if you mess with James Rapine, stuff comes up missing.
You get the horns.
I'm still undecided.
Okay.
But I think I might head to Paycor tomorrow.
What's like so what time's the game? Is that the midday? PM. No, that's the night. Good job. Good call. So what's your cutoff tomorrow? What are we talking? Like, noon? What do you think, huh?
I'll probably know my plans by the time I wake up in the morning.
That's beautiful. Your heart will tell you, not your head, right?
But like I may just end up going by myself. Was offered 2 tickets from a good man on Twitter by the name of Jake that is going to send them over to me. So I might just go by myself. I don't know if you're busy. I'm no babysitter. Wife's got things to do. She says, when will I know your plans? As soon as you approve them.
I just want to, yes. Good man. Very smart. I just want to point out a comment here from K Breezy. James is yoked. Don't mess with him. I'll fold you like a lawn chair, Rapine. Let's get this squared away before the comments and the chat goes off on a Rapine tangent. These babies,
I don't know, man.
Factory made right here.
When I walked up on Rapine helping us duct tape that goalpost back together at St. Patty's Day, the biceps were a little bit bigger than maybe I was expecting. You might have a run for your money there. He's shorter than you. He looks like he might be scrappy.
I think all he has to do truly is punch my kneecap, and then it's like lights out. And I'm like, all right, uncle, because another YouTube box.
Your knees are held together with like rubber bands and tape.
Yes, yeah, or steel. You never know. Maybe the Army put some metal in there, and I'm a robot. You never know. So, okay,
my
we've
wife
got.
Said, Andrew, how can we hire you? We cannot afford it.
Yes, you cannot afford it. Like, man, he's a primo. I heard he's working for Tom Cruise next year. But all right, so we've talked. That's not true, guys. He's not. We've talked training camp fights. I just threatened James Rapine. What else do we got going on? Right? So yeah, we're back, baby. So, we got to talk about that Trent Brown interview, right? That locker room talk.
I didn't love it.
I didn't love it either, man. Do you want to? Did I send it to you? I can't remember. Do we have the interview?
The interview was so long, I didn't.
It was, yeah. You're right. We discussed that. So essentially, I mean, he's at the locker. they're asking him questions. He's like sort of evasive. His answers are just not what you want to hear from a guy that's supposed to like come in and start, right? Yeah, I don't think I need reps. Yeah, I got to get into football shape. Like, hey, homie, we play tomorrow.
Like, we're like 2 weeks into camp here, bud.
Yeah, it's just, to me, the biggest one that stood out was I just got to get into football shape. I don't know if he meant mentally, because Trent Brown is a large human being. He's always looked the way he looks and been able to play, right? So I don't know if he meant he's out of shape, or I don't know if he meant like I just got to get these mental reps in, because that's what he said. I got to learn the offense almost, and I'm paraphrasing. But I'm in my heart, in my head, I'm like, why don't you know this already? Why aren't you in football shape if it is physical? And I don't take, I guess, as much of an issue with the comment about I don't think I need reps in preseason, because his initial interview when he came into Cincy, he said, I'm the best at what I do. I know what I'm doing. I'm a vet. You know what I mean? So got it. Tracking. All right. The little bit of issue I take, I guess, with it is you might think you know what you're doing, but you don't know how to work with the guy to your left and right just yet, right? Because you're on a new team. So my comment was, on that interview. I did not like it.
It just made me kind of go back to like really wishing he was at mini camp.
Yeah.
And I know he's on a 1 year, $5 million deal. And those aren't guys you're going to get to show up to a lot of voluntary stuff. And I understand that. But the second part of it is that Amarius Mims has looked pretty good from all accounts.
Absolutely.
I haven't been to a practice. Things very, very busy in my life at home. Apparently that sometimes that may make me somebody told me I wasn't an insider today. I never claimed to be an insider, so it's all good. Yeah, I haven't been. But from everything that I've seen, I have a list of the reporters that are at camp that I follow closely. Things are looking good for Mims. So
yeah.
I mean, I'm almost starting to wonder, do you just roll with your first rounder and have Trent Brown there for depth? And I see that Alex Gatto's in the chat, says he's not making much of the Trent Brown situation. He's been a pro baller, just need him to stay healthy. But that's a problem with him, because he's never played a full season. And I get that.
I
don't know. It just didn't make me feel warm and fuzzy.
Didn't. I get that. But one of our biggest strengths here in Cincinnati is our culture. Cannot deny it. It has led to wins. It has led to confidence. And if a guy, and I don't want to badmouth him because he hasn't played it down with us yet, but I put an interview out there and we're going to talk about it. If a guy's attitude is that right now, and I hesitate honestly to use the word attitude, because he didn't seem to have an attitude issue. It just felt lackadaisical. And I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah.
I'd like you to be firing on all cylinders right now, I think. And maybe it was just a shitty interview. And maybe the guy is actually hitting reps in camp. Like, I think Zim put out a clip today that I think we can play here really quick of him taking a strong rep.
Yeah.
It's quick, right? But you can see he's large, he's strong, and he's moving a linebacker, right? So maybe that interview is a blip on the radar of this Super Bowl season. And we look back and the guy comes in and just hammers it and does his job great. And I'll look back and we'll talk about this discussion and totally forget about it.
And we don't know how he really is with the media, right? We've seen Jamar Chase talk to the media 1,000 times. T. Higgins, Joe Burrow, all those guys. So like, I feel like I have a good enough pulse where I can be like, okay, T. Higgins is pissed in that interview. Yeah. Maybe we just don't know that about him. Maybe that's just how he is. But it just didn't make me feel great. Yeah. And the reviews from camp of Mims have been positive. Now, absolutely, camp is camp. We're going to see him play against real NFL competition tomorrow. Now, the Bucs aren't playing starters, so we're not going to get starter on starter reps for him, but we're going to see him against an NFL defensive end nonetheless. So I think we'll be able to see a lot more there. I'm already starting to wonder, should they just roll with the rookie? I don't think they will, but
gun to your head. Who you starting tomorrow? Or who you starting week 1?
I would start Mims just because he's been there and he's been practicing. Yeah. Trent Brown just got cleared to practice recently, just worked his way into contact recently. Mims has taken a lot of first team reps with the offense, with Burrow under center. If I was making the call, I think I'd just start my first rounder. And if something happens and it's disastrous, then you put Trent in. But then you got to worry, what does that do to Trent? Does that piss him off? Is he mad? Did he come here expecting to be the starter? So it's a whole thing. But I feel like you got to make the best decision for the football team. And what do you think is going to be the best case scenario to keep Burrow upright?
Yeah. I think, gun to my head, I roll with Trent and I let him disappoint me.
That's valid too, because he's played a ton of football.
Absolutely. Because
he's played a ton of reps.
Yeah. And you brought up an excellent point that I hadn't thought of yet. Maybe that's just how he is with the media. You know what I mean? James Rapien is a tough guy to talk to. You know what I mean? So maybe he just is that way. I remember his initial interview. I was like, oh God, I don't think this guy gives a shit at all. But coming in, maybe that's just how he is, you know? So I don't know. And Gatto says it right there. I would start Trent Brown without question. I think that's the camp I'm in. Ultimately, at some point of this season, I really want Mims to take the reins and be the guy of the future. We got Trent's on a 1-year deal, right? So we'll see. I am let him wow me, let him disappoint me. That's where I'm at.
And Nick makes a good comment. NFL blitz schemes. I'm going to start Trent Brown week 1.
Yeah,
he's seen a ton of football, and make no mistake about it, the Bengals don't start off against weak defensive lines. You can say what you want about New England. Their offense is probably going to stink, but their defense is going to be good. It's always good. And then you go to Kansas City. Yeah, then you go to Kansas City. You know what they can bring. And then after that, you come back, you have Washington, who they don't have Montez Sweat. They don't have Chase Young anymore, but they've always had pretty solid defenses. And then maybe you get a little bit of a break with the Panthers if they still, stink. But
yeah,
you're probably going to want a veteran guy that's seen more there. I get that too. So I'm not going to die on the, it has to be Mims or we're screwed hill by any means. Yeah. It's just kind of the feeling that I've gotten, but knowing the history of Brown, who misses games, it's just a fact of life. Mims is going to play, but if you want to keep him on the bench, get more reps in practice, I completely get that too. It probably will be Trent Brown unless something crazy happens. It's just I'm going into it a little bit more concerned than I would like to go.
I
start Mims. Start Mims at H-back in motion on a trap play like the Niners with Trent Williams. I would love to see that. Just Mims getting out in space, just coming in motion.
Terrifying.
That would be awesome.
That
would be absolutely awesome.
Yeah, that would be ridiculous, actually. Either guy you start, you have someone right behind them as an insurance policy all season. And again,
and a swing tackle.
Knock on wood. Yeah, absolutely. So you cannot go wrong unless, worst case scenario, Trent's not ready to play, which I don't know. I don't see that actually happening. But like you said, it's just like, man, scratching my head a little bit. Why'd you say that stuff? So who knows?
James is tough to talk to. Sources confirm. I'm your source.
Jesus. Send Fox the link. Let's get him on the show.
Who's your all surprise pick to make the team? Surprise sleeper pick to make the team.
Oh, that's we're on the spot.
Depending on
who do you think?
I haven't seen any updates, but depending on where we are with Charlie Jones.
Yeah.
If Charlie Jones is going to bounce back and be healthy, I think that he'll take that spot. But if he doesn't, Kendrick Pryor has had a good camp.
Yeah. God, who's the big guy we signed from the USFL? I'm totally blanking. Blanking on his name.
Davis.
Yeah. Did you shave your head?
Oh yeah, we haven't done a show. I cut it all off, dude.
I didn't know that. If you put it on my face.
Yeah. We haven't done a show since. I cut all the hair off.
You look good.
Well, I was thinking, I always had like the longer hair, and it looked nice when I would do it. But I realized I wear a hat every day of my life, and I never do it. So I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna cut it off.
That's a good cut on you, dude. You took my breath and my thoughts away there with your shaved head. Now, are you gonna bleach it?
Only if the Bengals win the Super Bowl.
Okay. Okay.
Now, I doubt that if the Bengals go and win the Super Bowl, Burrow's still going to have blonde hair. I don't think he's going to redo it, but I've already committed, so I'll do it. I will bleach it, and then I will get a tattoo of Drew Sample in my tramp stamp area. I also have committed to that. I don't know if you missed that. I know you had a busy couple weeks, but I did say Drew Sample tramp stamp if the Bengals win the Super Bowl, and it'll be a champ stamp.
Yeah.
Kevin has asked my wife what she thinks on my hair. She has still not told me, so that's not good, and it's been over a week. So don't think she's a fan.
Let's see. I was not consulted on the haircut or the tattoo. Well, Victoria.
No, went to get a haircut, just came back, and it was much, much shorter.
Yeah,
my hair grows relatively quick, so I just showed back up with
Harambe. Just Hakeem Butler. That's who I was thinking of. I don't know.
Why the receiver.
Yeah, big.
I thought you were talking about the D tackle. Hakeem Butler is. He's got NFL snaps under his belt. I could see that. If he has a strong preseason, I could see it.
Yes, and you said the D tackle, and I just rolled on for the sake of like keeping the show smooth. But it was Hakeem Butler I was talking about. Yeah.
I could see that. UFL Offensive Player of the Year, has played NFL snaps. Yeah,
absolutely. There was one more comment I wanted to bring up here from K Breezy. I might have just lost.
Where he asked me, "How's the couch been?"
Yeah, that too. But no, the punter battle. Is there any more update on the punter battle? Team Ryan Rekau Sumi.
Rekau's been booming footballs.
So it appears that he has a cannon attached to his leg. Yeah,
he's got a leg cannon, my man.
They just released one.
McNamara's out.
Yeah, he's gone. So the battle is down to our boy from Michigan and Rekau now. I don't know how that battle is actually going. I'm sure we'll see both guys
hot
punting
take
here in the preseason. What's your hot take?
I think Rekau might win the job. Love Brad Robbins, Michigan man.
Yeah.
Super cool guy that we've met and had beers
Excellent
with.
Mustache.
Great dude, but man, Rekau is booting that thing. He's kicking it far. He's kicking it with lots of hang time. Darren Simmons loves him some hang time.
Yeah.
If he does the same thing in NFL action in the preseason in real game situations, I think it's going to be hard for them to turn him down.
He's going to be punting tomorrow, probably. Hopefully we don't punt at all, but we'll see it. But I think you might be right. You know what I mean? If Brad had a better season last year, I don't know that this would be happening. But when you bring a guy in that can absolutely just nuke the shit out of the football and do it like pretty accurately, competition, baby.
Yeah,
competition.
Dude.
Brad loves competition, though. Brad loves competition, though. He said it. He said it to us. He said it to you and I in person. He loves competition, and he's ready to freaking compete and kick the shit out of the football. So,
also shout out friend of the program, Drew Chrisman. Got himself a tryout with the Niners.
Yes, I saw that. Yes.
After
awesome.
He opened his own moving company too. I believe it's called Pink Zebra Moving. Free ad.
It is. Yeah.
And then he got the call, and I was like, "Hey, you want to come out here and kick some footballs?" He's like, "I'll be there."
Yeah.
Reds are down 3-0. If anyone cares, Nick, I'm gonna be honest with you with the Reds. Love going to a Reds game. Like hitting Great American Ballpark, especially on a 3-2-1 night.
Big Red machine.
Big Reds guy. Big Reds guy from March until August-ish, but once the Bengals open up training camp, it's on the Reds to keep me invested.
Yeah, don't.
Ellie De La Cruz is a phenomenal human being, a phenomenal baseball player. He does really cool shit all the time. But I haven't been able to lock into the Reds like I was before because there's a lot of Bengals stuff going on, and it's on the Reds to keep me locked in.
Yeah, don't get it twisted. We love Cincinnati sports, but dude, we're football guys. Like that's our bread and butter.
So we've got position battles around this preseason. Offensive line, like we've already hit on. Certain things. Let's go into your position that you're watching tomorrow night. Ron's position to watch.
Yeah. last year I was a D-line guy. Just that's like kind of how I'm built. I love the trenches. But this year I'm going to be a little flashy. Okay. I'm going to be watching these wide receivers. We've got some, guys making plays in camp. Yoshi Vosh looks like he is out to make a name for himself. And Joe Burrow is in full support of Yoshi Vosh making a name for himself. Burton being a rookie. I'm just really excited about Burton. Initially, I was like, Burton's going to have 800 yards, like before camp kicked off and stuff. Guy's a stud. But now, dude, if Yoshi Vosh comes out and balls out, those yards are going to be split. Maybe Burton learns for a year. I think they're all going to play, but like, we might have just a squad in the wide receiver room, dude. So those two in particular, I'm going to be watching here early on, Yoshi Vosh and Burton.
I like this comment.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the Steelers over here missing Kenny Pickett. Their offensive line looked like shit. I watched a little bit of that earlier. Shout out to Chad, the Browns fan, for checking in with the boys. But yeah, they didn't look good over there in Pittsburgh from what I watched earlier.
What
are
your thoughts here?
Charlie Jones is an interesting one because he was having a good camp too. I haven't seen.
I don't want to forget him.
We all feared the worst. He went down. Yeah. The teammates went to the car. He looked very upset, and then you hear in the locker room that he's got a limp, but he might have avoided serious injury. I still haven't heard anything. I would bet my life that he's not going to play tomorrow night. So, like on the graphic, I didn't put him in there because he's not going to be playing tomorrow night. But I think wide receiver 3 is going to be by committee to an extent.
I think so too. I do. Yeah.
Yoshi's having a good camp, very good camp. But Burrow trusts Irwin. Think about those times, a lot. The last couple of years when Chase is down or Higgins is down, sometimes both of them, Irwin shows up. Burrow trusts Irwin. He finds Irwin, in clutch moments. I think he had 2 touchdowns in that Pittsburgh game that night. So he's going to be in there. I think you're going to rotate him in. And then Burton's made a couple really good plays with the 2s. Yeah. So we're going to see him in NFL action tomorrow night. I think that you're really going to see them put in a lot of guys. And the Bengals wide receiver room, I'm not going to say it's deeper than when they had Boyd because Boyd was a proven asset and a veteran, but it is far younger and has a far higher ceiling than it did one season ago.
A ceiling talent is off the chart right now. Boyd loved the guy when he was here, okay? Burton's ceiling, I think, is like I just add in Yoshi Voss, add in the fact that we're toying with guys like Hakeem Butler and Shedrick Jackson's in there. There's so much room for us to just have outstanding receivers this year. And we're not even talking about our world beaters, folks. Chase is going to Chase. Higgins is going to Higgins, right? We're talking about the guys that are going to take the table scraps off of the superstars, right? So I just...
Can we just give Jamar Chase a fucking contract, though?
Dude, yeah, I know. I saw there's some guy out there trying to be the next, I don't know, Dolph Klein.
Cracky the Bear, dude. Shout out Cracky the Bear. I saw that.
Who is that? He says the contract's there, and he's like saying, I'll buy a jersey, or I don't know.
You got Pretty Ricky, the dog Twitter guy going to war on the Brandon Ayuk thing out there. And we got Cracky the Bear in town. I don't know who's running that, but they're generating some buzz.
They really are, but you could generate buzz by just running out your ass. I don't know. The Ricky the dog is fun, but we're just gonna have to see. We're gonna have to see.
Here's what you're gonna see. I didn't mean to throw it off the rails. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
We know he's not practicing because of a contract. We know they're gonna pay him. Let's just get it over with and get him back out there. He's gonna play. He's gonna play week 1. But didn't mean to go off the rails with the Chase thing.
No, that's
the wide receiver room. You're gonna look at a wide receiver 3, who somebody's going to be the primary, right? They might shuffle guys in and out, but like there's going to be a guy where Zach Taylor's like, it's nut cutting time, 2 minutes to go, down by 4. We need a touchdown. Here's my wide receiver 3. You're probably going to look at Yoshavash. You're going to look at Irwin or Burton. But regardless, you are going to have a wide receiver 3 now that is a true outside threat. Irwin less than the others, but Irwin has played outside receiver for the Bengals and had success. Yeah. But a Yoshavash that's fast as hell, he's a big dude. He can line up outside. A Burton who's fast as hell can play the slot and go outside. So I think whichever way they go primarily is still going to open up moving Jamar Chase around. And that's something we haven't seen enough of. And that's what I can't wait for, because if there's ever a time where the good Lord allows Jamar Chase to be matched up on a linebacker, it's cooked. It's barbecue chicken. It's over.
He gone. We're not even factoring in Mike Gesicki here. I just like there's so many things or so many guys for Joe to throw to.
He could be your primary slot too, because he plays a lot in the slot. But like, think about a red zone package. Think about a red zone package where you got Chase on the outside here, T on the outside here, a guy like Yoshi who's big, he's got a big body that's built for the red zone, scored several red zone touchdowns last year, and I got Mike Gesicki at tight end. Like that's a lot. There's 4 dudes there that you could put the ball up to, and they're going to go get.
I agree.
Honestly, the lesser of those guys is Jamar Chase, just because he's not as tall, but he's a fucking magician and can make whatever play he wants with the football anyway. So like, you could be down inside the 20 and you're putting these big bodies with strong hands out there.
Yeah.
Give Burrow time to find one of them, man.
I mean,
so I think that you're in a good spot with wide receiver 3 no matter what. And I'm sorry if I'm rambling. You're not jacked to the tits about it.
It's beautiful. Nick Fook in the comments section at 8:33 said it best. I mean, it's probably our deepest position on the team. It actually probably. I mean, I think it's going to be scary this year in a good way. So I'm super excited about that. And before we move on,
scary for the ops.
Yeah, for the ops. Before we move on, before we move on to your position, I just want to show you Charlie Jones' picture on the Google machine. So
it looks just like him.
Yeah, he got a tan in the offseason, folks. Charlie Jones there. I think that's kind of funny. What group, and I think I know what it is, not because I talked to you before this and I already know what it is, but what group are you looking forward to seeing this season?
This is a good comment because it's an outsider looking in. This guy doesn't have Bengal goggles on. Outsider looking in, the big one is Mims, the guy at right tackle, but just as big, can be one of the rookie defensive tackles, step up and help against the run. Nothing worse than getting gashed up the gut. Yeah. And that's true because they replaced DJ Reader with Sheldon Rankins. And Sheldon Rankins is a great 3-tech. He's going to get to the quarterback from the interior, something the Bengals have missed since probably Larry Ogunjobi. But they didn't find the guy that's going to be the true run stuffer. Now, Chris Jenkins was one of the highest graded run defenders in the draft at defensive tackle. But defensive tackle is one of the hardest transitions to the NFL because college guards and NFL guards, there's just a strength gap. There's a big difference there. And as much as I want to bang the drum as a Chris Jenkins homer, as a Michigan man, he's going to be a big key too. So that's one that that does make a lot of sense that we have to do. I got some people in there asking to hit the like button. Please do that for us. We love you guys sincerely if you would like the stream. So, not to cut you off, but I thought that was a good transition to where I'm going because I am going to be on the defensive side of the ball.
I asked. Go for it.
Defensive side of the ball, I'm going cornerback too. Now, again, you may accuse me of being a homer because there's 2 Michigan men on the screen, DJ Turner and Dax Hill. But that's a battle that we really need to watch closely. And part of the reason that I'm so strongly considering going to Paycor Stadium outside of Joe Burrow is the fact that I think these guys are both going to play a little bit more because somebody's got to be the second option. Cam Taylor-Britt is going to play at damn near all-pro level this year, I think. He's
stud.
Maybe that's too much, but he's a dog. He's your bona fide quarterback one. He's going to follow your best receiver. He's going to make DK Metcalf throw temper tantrums. But I'm hearing good things and bad things about both Turner and Dax at camp. I've heard both have had really strong days. Dax got his first pick yesterday off of Burrow in 11-on-11 work. Heard up and down stuff from both of them. So I'm excited to see Dax taking true reps at corner. And DJ Turner played far more snaps than he was supposed to play last year. Corner's another position where it's a really, really tough transition. So I think one or both of these guys is going to play a lot of football tonight, and I'm really excited to see who kind of stands out playing another team, another uniform in game-like scenarios, because we need a step forward from Turner, who I think is the presumptive second outside corner just because he's the incumbent. But I think that watching Dax in college move around the defensive backfield so much, he played a lot in the slot, and I think there still may be a vision there. Let's say Turner is far and away the number one or the number two outside corner, and he's going to start there. I think they're going to incorporate Dax in the slot to take some plays off for Hilton, because I think that may be the long-term plan for him. But I still see visions of Jonathan Joseph and Leon Hall when I see DJ Turner and Cam Taylor-Britt, right? Jonathan Joseph was the bigger, more physical guy like your Cam Taylor-Britt, and Leon Hall was so clean. He was so technically sound. He was fast. He was smooth. And I think Turner can be that. I just think he was forced into more action than he was supposed to play last year. And as a rookie, that's a lot. So that's where I'm really locked in for tomorrow. That's a long-winded way of me to say that I'm going to watch the cornerbacks pretty closely tomorrow night. I
am also, I mean, it's funny. I pick wide receiver. You pick their arch nemesis, right? Cool. So this is fun. I'm pumped too. I mean, it's another position where we've got talent. We've got young talent. Cam Taylor-Britt is going to be our world beater, right? And we've got Dax jumping down to the slot and battle back there behind him, causing havoc with obviously the return of Mac in the form of Von Bell. It's going to be another position group that's fun to watch in the preseason for sure. Come season time, you're going to have your guys out there that you're going to have out there. But like these two that you mentioned here, like, dude, they're athletic, they're young, and the comparison to Joseph and Hall, Leon Hall, Jonathan Joseph, that's fun. That's a fun comparison.
Oh,
dude.
God, that'd be good.
Yeah, absolutely. We just got to find we don't need to find our Pac-Man, because that's CTB. That you know what
that's
I mean?
The dog. That's the guy that's going to get in your head. He's going to talk his shit. Yeah, and I'm just excited to watch it, because I still think at this point it's still a true battle. I think Turner may have the edge just because he played the snaps there last year, but I think that we're looking at a true competition for that still, and one or both of those guys is probably going to play a lot of snaps tomorrow. And I'm financially invested in the success of DJ Turner now, because I bought his jersey yesterday and I wanted white instead of black, so I had to go custom. So like I've invested in that. And there is some good points in the chat. Josh Newton has looked good in camp too. He's been getting some run with the ones. Fig Newton, ball hawk.
That's fun.
He's absolutely making the roster, but he's gotten some time with the ones too, and he's not afraid of a challenge. So there's a lot more talent in there. We just need it to materialize, because the back end of our defense last year, I mean,
it wasn't fun.
Let's just call it what it is. The defense wasn't good really anywhere last year. There's a lot to improve on, but the back end is huge,
especially in the back end that you mentioned. It just felt disorganized. Do you know what I mean? That communication from Bates was not there. Bell's gone, right? So you bring Von Bell back, and everybody in practice is saying, "Oh, the communication's better. It's looking good," right? So like, hopefully that's polished this year, and we can just let these young, talented guys be young and talented. You know what I mean?
There's no shortage of that. I mean, we saw what Turner did at the combine with the speed, and that's all well and good. I saw a lot of what he did at Michigan. There's a lot of stuff on the old Twitter machine right now saying that the Michigan players aren't as good because they don't know what play is coming. And I'm like, man, let's relax. You're gonna hate on Michigan guys because they're Michigan guys, but I always said, you can put a Bengal from Iraq on the team, and if he's got stripes on his helmet, I'm gonna root for him. So I'm really locked in on corner tomorrow night.
No, I'm not.
I'm really, the way that I'm seeing these preseason games go.
Yeah.
I don't know that Zach Taylor's going to follow this plan or not, but I just saw pretty much Pittsburgh and Houston's starters play damn near the whole quarter. I think Houston pulled them out once they finally scored a nice throw from CJ Stroud to Tank Dell. So I'm thinking the Bengals might actually get some good run tomorrow night. So I'm thinking I should make the drive.
I think you should too. I won't be able to make it. So guys, you're gonna get that'll be fun content tomorrow. You'll get live stuff from Paycor, from Drew, and then I'll give you all the drunken reactions from home on my couch. So that'll be.
It's a maybe. It's a maybe.
Yeah,
we'll see. We'll see.
Do it.
So
Do it.
we. Oh no.
What?
The adults have come. The adults have joined the stream.
Oh, special guest.
Look at that. We'll give him the big part of the screen.
He's a coworker.
Oh,
look at that shirt.
Andrew Fox.
I know.
Miller.
It's yeah. It's like
Dan
complicated
Flashes
pattern shirt.
Dan
Very. It was bargain bin, but still very expensive.
Did you spend all your per diem on that? Is
oh
that
yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Doug was trying to get in my
too.
way of it, but
Yes, absolutely. Well, hey
We'll
man,
grab another water. You guys talk amongst yourselves.
This is sweet. Surprise guest here, guys. Unplanned. But when you run your mouth in the chat for some fun stuff, you're gonna hop on here. So, dude,
that's right.
How you doing, man? What you guys have? You and James have been
good, man.
Busybodies, man. Busy bodies.
Coming up for air, that's for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm gonna mute while I adjust here.
Yeah,
you decided to do that with us.
Yeah, right. No, you guys have seen him. Those guys over there on Enter the Jungle, Andrew Fox Miller, James Rapine, who I've challenged to a fight apparently tonight. They do great stuff at a very high level. So you kind of have been listening and following along tonight. We've discussed the fights, we've discussed all that stuff, and we've left that behind us. And now we're talking about position groups we're excited to see this season. Where are you at? I went wide receiver. Drew went corner. Now, what do you think?
So yeah, I missed the last like 5-10 minutes. I was running around and I was going to jump on. So I'm glad you told me the positions you said, because corner would have been mine. I've been all off season, after the draft, after free agency. All I've wanted is what's the answer at corner? It's probably who we have. I mean, I'm going to be optimistic and say that it is, but there are still a lot of questions with who we have. And I was hoping training camp would shed some light on that. And I think it has to a certain degree. DJ Turner's been looking very good. And that's all we could have hoped for in that regard. And I like what I'm seeing for the young guys too. Like, I don't know. It's still to me the area where if you don't have, let's just say, I'm going to play hypotheticals here. I don't mean to be pessimistic, but let's just say Cam Taylor-Britt, all of a sudden, he's more of a CB2 than a CB1. What are we left with? It's like the rug is pulled out from under you in that scenario. And I don't like that feeling. And I've had that sort of anxiety leading up to where we are now. So for me, preseason is going to help reassure me with the good things, for the most part, that I've seen in training camp. So I'm going to be watching that position group heavily, aside from also offensive line, but that's just more from I want the validation. It's not concern so much. It's like, man, I really like what we did here. And I Amarius Mims, Trent Brown, that whole field, like it's a good problem to have. Who's going to start? Oh my God, this is so stressful. No, it's great. And that's going to be one where I'm going to be like, oh, I'll let the chips fall as they may.
Right.
And this is going to be an enjoyable watch. Whereas corner, I'm just going to be anxious.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And Chad in the chat asked if the Bucs were playing starters, their wide receivers would be a nice test. And I agree that they would, but Todd Bowles has said that they are not going to play their starters. So that would be nice work for the defensive backs to get if that's the way it was going. Now you're not at camp every day, but you talk to James every day, who's at camp every day. Is there any thought or idea that the starters could play more than this, or do you think this is it?
From what I recall, that question has not come up, and I haven't heard any discussions that are sort of, I don't want to say off the record, but that weren't, broadcast in a news conference or anything like that. I think it's been more of a, like, is it even going to happen for this game, one game? And everything has just been weighing on that. I think it depends on how this game goes. Did they see what they needed to see from who they needed to see it from? My guess is for someone like Burrow, maybe. It goes back to with Burrow, for me, like coming into this game, regardless of your opinion as to whether or not he should play, at the end of the day, like, I feel like if Burrow's in a position where he's like, I need this, he is going to make a convincing argument as to why, and who are we, especially we, But is anybody to sit there and go, Joe, no, I know what's best for you.
Yeah.
That may happen from time to time, but look, if the guy just needs a series, like, okay. I'm not stressing about it. I'm not judging one way or another. I'm just going to say, like, Joe, whatever you need, like, I understand. So
I think he may want more than just a series.
I agree.
And this is just me guessing because I have zero insight into the mind of Joe Burrow, but this is going to sound very weird for me to say, but like, I need to see him get hit. I need to see him land and get back up. And I think that he's probably the kind of guy that needs that too. It was a little bit different coming off of the knee, I feel like, because that's such a major injury. But this is also an injury that we really haven't seen a quarterback come back from or have. So I feel like he wants to play more. I wish Zach would have just told us yesterday, but he was very tight-lipped. He's in mid-season. You're not getting any info for him. But something tells me, man, like I just, the feeling in my gut is that unless he comes out and goes like 5 for 5 for 75 yards and a touchdown or whatever, he may play more than just the one series, but that's purely speculative.
That could be, but what is it I mean, okay, look, if Joe needs that for whatever he needs it for, again, fine. But let's just say for a moment that he doesn't, or let's say the coaches need it. Let's say we need it. Let's just play that game. What, to your point about the knee, like, I agree. I was in the same boat. Like, let me just see those first couple of hits. Let me see that happen, and I'll feel better about all this. When it comes to this wrist thing, you even said it. We just don't know enough. With my limited knowledge and from what I understand about like how a wrist operates, I would think it's going to be more of like sort of endurance, the repetition. Can you do it for an entire game? You're not going to get that in preseason. Getting hit, I don't know. Maybe that happens, but then what? Like, is he going to slap someone's helmet? And we're like, oh, okay, we're good. You know, like, I don't know if getting tackled is going to make us bracing on the ground. I don't know.
Look,
that's think my thing, right? Like,
truly. Sorry to interrupt. Go. Yeah.
No,
that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. Like, it's like, does he need it? Do we need it? Do the coaches need it? Who needs him out there longer than a series? Really? Is it healthy? Is it good? Look, we as a fan base, straight up, we have Joe Burrow injury PTSD at this point. Sure. Every time someone comes around the corner and hits him, I cringe a little bit. You know what I mean? I know he's a tough SOB, and I know he's built to play in the NFL, and he's a hell of a quarterback. Hell, we saw him that tire video back in the day when he's fighting for the tire in college. Like, he's always tough up here, right? He's just gotten injured, and it's a little scary. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying I think that Joe Burrow is injury prone. Everything that's happened to him, freak accident. You know what I mean? Appendix is exploding, wrists, whatever. I say give him a series. If I'm in charge, Joe, here's your series. You did well, a couple completions. You got it down the field. Even if we got a field goal, good job. You got us in a good position. Let's go over here, okay? He's a gamer, dude. He's going to be ready week 1. That's Ron, Coach Ron. That's my idea here.
Andy Reid plays his starters a quarter. That's all I know.
Yeah. And I think they've like won
but Mahomes has never come back from a major injury either. Mahomes has never missed half a season with an injury. So like
we talked about it a bit, James and I, on End of the Jungle a few weeks ago, and the point was brought up of like I repeat what I basically said, which is like, I am not one of those people that gets furious over playing starters in preseason. No. It just doesn't. I understand the pros and cons in any scenario. I'm not black and white about it. I'm just like, okay, whatever's going to work best for the coaches, the team, the player, fine. But the point still, I suppose, stands that, okay, yeah, any player, not just talking about Joe Burrow, we'll just make it a broad sweeping statement. Something goes wrong, and then all of a sudden it was the wrong decision, no matter what.
Yeah.
And so I get it. That's a tough one. In fact, I don't have the ability here, but I guess I'll explain. Like, I'm talking about the endurance, the reps and things with Joe, and sort of kind of regaining that repetitive strength of the wrist. I noticed, because you talk about, you're right. I'm not at camps, like certainly not like James is, but really like most people, because I got to be sitting here waiting for everything to do regarding camp. But I get all the files from James, and I sit here and I organize them and I label them and I archive them. And so I go through them all. I see them all. And one of the ones from yesterday, I noticed, I don't know if anyone else talked about this. I didn't see it if they did, but there's footage of Joe walking around the sideline, and he's kind of doing that with his wrist. And this might be just a way to kind of maintain just kind of a habit that he's formed. But a lot of this kind of just grabbing and kind of massaging, I don't know that he even been doing much beyond warm-ups up to that point, like the chronology of the clips, but it was interesting. And I started thinking about like, okay, yeah, it's still kind of, it's like having anything that's recovering from an injury. It's just a little bit of tension, a little bit of soreness. Will that be sustainable for 4 quarters? I think it will be.
Yeah.
I just can't get that answer in preseason.
I noticed that when he was in Paris with the suit and all that, he was like,
he was rubbing his hand with the backless suit.
So handsome.
He's doing he's doing that. Like I've noticed that too. And I've wondered the same thing. Like, is it bothering him? Is he checking it? Is this something he's been doing since November and he had surgery? And
is it just like compulsive?
Yeah. Is it a nervous tick now? Like, but I've noticed, I haven't noticed it in any camp clips, but like you saying that makes me remember like the fashion thing he was doing it.
I mean, I'd send you the clip, but you guys don't know how to download and upload apparently. So
no, we're very, very simple here on this program. Well, I can speak from experience here. Like when you have a major surgery, because I've had about 42,652 knee surgeries, the massaging, and again, this is speculation here. The massaging can alleviate the buildup of scar tissue, right? So like a big part of my recovery in my knee was coconut oil, but oiled up. But it was massaging the scar to make sure, and the area where you're operated on, to make sure that scar tissue didn't kind of come together and build up and create stiffness. So that's speculation, but that it could be a little bit of that. Like, hey, just make sure you're rubbing in there. And he had the surgery a while ago, but it's who knows? Is it habit now? Was he doing it during physical therapy and now it's just a thing he does? Do you know what I mean? I don't know, but it looks like he's making some dime ass throws in camp. So if the longevity, right, during a game, if he can do that for 4 quarters, we're good, dog. Well,
you and James have mentioned on your show just a couple of days ago, I think. My whole week's kind of run together, but that there wasn't quite as much of a tight spiral on the throws. But then you see them working in the stadium yesterday. He had that throw that he threaded right past Logan Wilson. I think it went to Yoshi. Very good zip on that ball. Very tight spiral on that ball. So those are things that we've watched, and it's just harder because there's no blueprint for this, right? A guy blows his knee out. We've seen dozens of blown knees every year, and guys that have a blueprint and a roadmap of how to get back. The only person I've seen talk about this is AJ Hawk, and he's like, well, my wrist never really was the same, but the guy also played the rest of an NFL season at linebacker with that injury and then had surgery. Like Burrow had his surgery immediately. So it's like, that's the troubling part about it, I guess, is just we've never seen a quarterback do this.
Yeah, we did talk about the spiral thing that well, so going through all those clips, I mean, I probably get not just Burrow, of course, but I don't know, probably 70 a day that I go through. And I'll go through them and I'm watching, and I kind of notice like early on, we're talking like end of July, especially even into August.
Wobble.
Like, man, these are kind of like a little wobbly there. What's going on? All right, whatever. We're good. It got to where it needed to get to. I saw some touchdowns. I saw some great plays. I wasn't seeing interceptions. I know that. And then and then there was a little bit of dialogue about it, and I thought, what's going on? So I started asking James about it. He's like, oh, we'll talk about it on the show. Okay. I didn't know what he was going to say. I just knew what I was going to say. And we kind of talked through it. And I think he, like what James kind of described, and to a certain degree, they'd asked Joe about in the news conferences with him. So like he would admit, like, I'm working through it. I'm working through how to do this. Because when you throw a spiral, it's grip first. And it's all that technique. It's the flick of the wrist. It's all of that. And it's not maybe that the pain or anything like that is maybe preventing him. It's just kind of retraining. And you're right. From what I saw, and I can't think of, I'm sure there's some, but I can't readily think of one instance where I saw that same sort of delivery, that same rotation being just a little weak on the ball. It feels like it's getting better just from what I'm seeing.
Yeah. A couple ducks, but like you said, like the ball got there, and if he's got to retrain to get it tight, to get it there, give him the reps, he'll come back to form. I think you can sit there and say it's a mystery as to how this recovery is going to go, but the guy's too mentally tough, to not get there, in my opinion.
And
well, and I've got a video here
massage thing, by the way. That's just him like maintaining.
Yep.
I've got a clip of a deep ball to Higgins that we can look at, and it's actually good that Andrew's here because he can tell me if I properly credited them for this.
I can tell.
I was asking him.
I'm so glad he's
fun with the camera at the end. So got your logo, hat tip, James repeat on there. I think I'm golden, right? Not getting sued.
Yeah. James, I keep telling him we got to change that logo anyway, but he can't seem to get it to work. Anyway.
He's a superstar. We're all just recording crap around him.
Right. Yeah, that Higgins, that deep ball looks like the thing that kills me though is like you see those deep balls and it's like, that ball's completely out of frame. I never know what they look like unless you're there. I keep telling James, just go wide, man. I'll figure out the rest in post, but all right.
And obviously, can you tell them how to upload it with at least 1080p? Is the quality not good on the screen, Kevin? I
thought
to me.
It was.
It's probably the StreamYard, like trying to actually like buffer, and it's just but play it in real time, it happens.
The spiral thing is definitely something that you want to see. It's pretty. It cuts through wind, all that. But like, also, I'm like, and I think maybe you said it on your show. I can't remember, but it was like the ball's still getting where it needs to go. Like it's still getting there.
It is, but I don't know. I stand by what I said, but maybe mistakenly because it was low hanging fruit for James to jump all over me. I compared it to Peyton Manning with the Broncos, but I just said like a cerebral quarterback. Like I understand he was at the end of his career. I'm not saying Joe is, but my point is that like the dude took the Broncos to a Super Bowl and was throwing ducks left. I never saw a spiral from that guy. I forgot if it happened, but like Burrow's he's gonna be fine with that considered.
Yeah, but because the strength is there, right? He's been throwing deep balls all camp. So if these balls were falling short or something, then we would be having a whole different conversation, right? So the ball's getting there. Just tighten it up, Joe.
Andrew was me every day on Twitter. Like maybe I shouldn't have said that, but I stand by it.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
That's every other tweet that I post.
Yeah. The only thing that with the spiral, and it'll get, the spiral will be fine. It's going to get tighter. It probably already has, like I said. But I mean, like I think I even said it on our show on Tuesday. But it helps receivers anticipate where it's going. It helps everyone involved in completing that pass. So it's essential, but it's a great start if you're not throwing picks left and right, and you're connecting with your receivers, both new and veterans not named Jamar Chase.
Well, maybe Joe Burrow, big brain, has decided not to throw spirals to make it harder for the defender to track where the ball's going. Did you ever think of that?
That's a take.
Playing chess.
That's something. You said something.
Words were said.
Chess, not checkers. Joe Burrow.
I try to feed James question like information, like, hey, should ask about this or that. A new one that just popped in my head. He's not gonna do it. But I want him to. Burrow's a big time gamer. Gaming does a number on your wrist. Like I've legitimately like borderline injured my forearm trying to, play like Tekken back in the day. You know what I mean? This dude plays Super Smash Brothers. It's not like he's not a hardcore button masher, but that dude plays Super Smash Brothers. Like I'd be curious to be like, hey, how has that helped? Like tell me about that. Baby. No one's asked that question.
You see the scuff from slamming my controller out of rage?
Oh yeah, that happened. I used to do that when I was like 8. Like slamming the controller. What's wrong with you?
Drew's I'm 32. Still do it. He's a PlayStation elitist.
There you go.
Shit, so are you?
Oh, am I? But am I?
Yeah.
Oh, what a
hybrid!
Wow.
My God. Whew.
That's what happens when you get 45,000 on YouTube, folks. You get both consoles.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Okay, well,
yeah.
I tell you what, we've had you here. We've hit the hour mark here, and people usually start reporting and calling the police on us after an hour. So, thanks for hopping on, dude. Last minute, I really appreciate it. Your insight is always awesome. We'll let you go, and we'll wrap up here, dude. Let's do this more often.
I got one more thing for Andrew.
Go for it.
You were like the first person I reached out to about this. Has my backdrop improved?
Oh boy.
Yes, it's improved. We got to get you some.
Definitely.
We got to get you a little distance, but I think it's improved.
Don't have the distance in the space I'm working with. Be honest with you.
No,
Don't have it.
Don't say don't. Yeah.
Knock the damn wall down.
It'll be a slow process. Doesn't have to happen overnight. We'll get you. We'll get you. No, but I like it. I like it a lot. So, yeah.
Cool.
And also,
we're getting better.
I want to call out the fact, because my comment wasn't caught out before I jumped on here, that the whole whatever you got going on with this cam sample thing and the tramp stamp you're talking about.
Drew sample.
Oh, it was Drew sample. That's right. Sorry, Drew sample.
Yeah.
Cam sample would be weird.
Very.
Drew sample. I still say shredded cheese, like some sort of a bet that you lose and you got to get like shredded cheese tattoos.
Agreed.
On your...
Well, the Bengals winning the Super Bowl, me getting a Drew sample tattoo is not a bet. It's a
What about Drew sample
celebration.
eating shredded cheese with mustard?
Oh God. I would have to get him to agree to take said picture because I'm very big on realism.
I don't think he's agreed to. He's gonna. I don't know that he's agreed to anything.
What? He's not. He doesn't want you to do this. I just like he's. He is
you don't
not
know that.
pro.
He might be all for it.
Okay, all right. That's true. Oh my God.
We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Let's go win a game in New Orleans, and then we'll figure it out from there post parade.
Hey,
yes,
that happens. I will do everything I can to make sure I see you guys there.
Oh yeah, I might be in Cincinnati, just heavily intoxicated from the time the game ends until the parade starts.
I will forget my name and that I have a family that night, and you'll find me sleeping under the Brent Spence. It'll be just a insane evening. I will be very
You
excited.
just tell us where James lives and we'll show up to his house.
Yeah,
that's fine. I'll do it. So many weeks off, you guys. You're gonna have.
Jesus. Well, hey, man.
We appreciate the hell out of you for jumping in, man, on a Friday
appreciate
night.
you having me. No, it's a good time.
You're the man.
Later, man.
Guys.
That was
Smart
cool.
guy. Big brain guy. The way he edits videos is, I'm truly envious.
Yeah. He's good at it. I got nothing left, man. We're at an hour. We've touched on camp. We've touched on things. We got some stuff in the hopper here, hopefully, to make this season very, very, very exciting. Looking forward to awesome content, man. It's gonna be great. I'm glad the season's finally here. What? Can you say it? Can you not?
You saying we've touched on things while it looks like you're reaching to the waistline is it's just interesting.
Nope. Hands up.
And
hands
that's how we close the show. We
crossed an hour.
Showtime, baby. Yeah, the boys are ready to go. Cincinnati, you know. Them boys about to flow. Grab a garage beer, let's go. It's Drew and Bang go. Yeah, big place, it's a show. Yeah, big place, it's a show. Yeah, it's showtime.